Okay, so Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald comes out tomorrow on digital. So you'll be able to get your hands on not only the theatrical cut, but the extended cut, which I'm really interested to see the extended cut, because I'm wondering if it's going to maybe add in a few plot holes or fill in a few plot holes or details that was seemingly left out of Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, a movie that for all intents and purposes was okay, definitely a sequel, definitely not J.K. Rowling's best work, and I think Warner Brothers is 100% aware of that, because right now, and this actually happened a few weeks ago and I forgot to cover it, was Fantastic Beasts was pulled from its release date of November 2020. That was given to Dune, that's going to be coming out, which I think is going to be an amazing movie. But now we don't have a release date for Fantastic Beasts 3 at all. So what the hell's going on with it, right? What the hell is happening? So at the end, there's spoilers for Fantastic Beasts 2 if you haven't seen it, right? So at the end of Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, we know that Credence is really a Dumbledore, but we don't know who he exactly is as a Dumbledore. He's got a Phoenix with him, the same Phoenix that was hanging out in Dumbledore's office in Harry Potter. Grindelwald now has him at an Austrian castle, and they are plotting to do something. Obviously, my personal take on it is because of the blood pact that Grindelwald and Dumbledore entered into, that Credence is going to be used predominantly as a shield to protect him from Dumbledore, because at this point now he has to know that Dumbledore and others are currently trying to track him down. Right, that and Queenie is with him, and that's going to be obviously part of the plot line between Jacob Kowalski and Queenie and their whole love story, which again was a real weak point of Crimes of Grindelwald. It was very weird how she basically kind of Me Too'd him to put him under a spell in order to get him to go fall in love with her. I mean, she roofied this dude. She roofied this guy, and then, because she was afraid of losing him. And that was the craziest thing. Like, that was one of the weirdest plot holes that I felt from the movie. That was like, wait, so you're telling me, like, at the end of the first movie, he was ordered to forget everything. They had to make him forget everything. So they did. They made Jacob forget everything. And then he just randomly appears in London in the second one because Queenie went back, told him everything that happened, but then put a spell on him to then drag him to London for some reason. Yeah, so she effectively was roofing this guy, and then at the end of the movie, she goes with Grindelwald because he's like, hey, listen, I'll let you love who you want to love, which I know was the whole point of that whole arc. I get it. I get it. This is before Muggles and witches and wizards could be together. Obviously, back at a time if Hermione was born, she would be considered born illegal. You know what I mean? So like, I get what they're going for. They're going for Muggle and its civil rights within the wizarding community. I get it. J.K. Rowling, you hit the nail on the head. You did it with just a really, it wasn't subtle at all. We got it. In fact, actually, non-subtlety was the entire name of the game for Fantastic Beasts. In fact, if you go and you watch a lot of people talking about Crimes of Grindelwald and breaking it down, you will see tons and tons and tons of absolute just destructions of J.K. Rowling's writings. In fact, I came out and I criticized her writing. The script was pretty bad. The direction was good, but the script it was bad in both movies, right? And I think the big problem here is that J.K. Rowling, having brought billions upon billions of dollars into Warner Brothers as a result of the fantastic Harry Potter franchise, wanted to go and do this, and Warner's gave her carte blanche to do it, right? They gave her the full-on ability to do what she wants and to get away with it. And as a result, we've had two very poorly scripted films. And so that's kind of one of the reasons, that's the rumor at this point, at least, well, one of the statements is, why did the movie get pushed from shooting in June of 2019 to the fall of 2019? Why did it get dropped about 4 or 5 months? And the reason for that is because they're working on the script. My theory is because from what I understand, when J.K. Rowling pitched the idea, it was pitched as not as a trilogy, but an anthology, but a series. And it was going to cover 5 films and span about 19 years, from 1926 until 1945 at the end of World War II, when, Gellert Grindelwald is finally defeated by Albus Dumbledore. And of course, leading into the obvious Harry Potter universe and going on from there. And look, the whole point of that is pretty cool. But one of the key things that we learned from the end of the first movie was a comment that J.K. Rowling had made where ultimately Jude Law, Dumbledore was going to probably take more of a main stage, and that Scamander was not going to be in all 5 movies. Right now, that might change now, but looking at the reception of the characters in the second film, Dumbledore was very well loved. I mean, outside of the whole McGonagall nonsense of her age being vastly different. But no, ultimately he was very well loved. And I would, in the chemistry, I want to see how it would work out between the two of them, between Johnny Depp as Grindelwald and Jude Law. Now, we also learned that Sherlock Holmes 3, the finale of that trilogy, which was set to come out in 2020, is now being pushed to 2021, which tells me that Warner Brothers also shifted the shoot schedule for Sherlock Holmes 3 around this particular movie, Fantastic Beasts 3, getting shot, because they know that ultimately the franchise needs to be a bit better than Sherlock Holmes. That's the way I view it, at least. So yeah, like, what's going to happen? Well, we all we know in number 3 is that number 3 is going to take place probably at the American version of Hogwarts. Parts of it are going to go there because of I want to say I don't forget it was Ashley Williams, the lady from the Daily Show, was had a cameo appearance. And of course, also, they do go to Brazil, which has been confirmed by Dan Fogler. And J.K. Rowling herself did change her Twitter banner to be the Brazil in the 1930s. So a couple little hints there, a couple little things there. Not only that, today we did find out that Niantic is teasing details about the new Harry Potter AR game. The guys who made Pokemon Go are doing the same thing for Harry Potter. Should be a lot of fun. Should be pretty interesting. But looking at the movie itself, the idea for the movie, where they're going to go, probably they're going to be tracking Grindelwald across the world as he's trying to, recruit more people for his big ass army. And of course, they're going to be trying to find a way to end the blood pact, basically kind of destroy the Horcrux, because they're, hey, leave it to J.K. Rowling to kind of write herself into a bit of a predictive loop that she's already done from her first franchise within this particular world. So looking at where things are, it makes sense that Warner wants to push it back a few months, but this means the release date's going to go sometime into mid, if not late 2021. I wouldn't be surprised ultimately if we don't get it, if it comes out in the June of 2021 or fall, because traditionally speaking, the Harry Potter movies have all been fall releases, with the exception, I think, of the last couple. I think, was it Order of the Phoenix was like a summer release, like a July release, and then the other ones are coming out at different times as well. I think it was fall for Deathly Hallows Part 1 and summer for Deathly Hallows Part 2. So they've experimented with winter and with summer, but the movies ultimately do better in the winter. So what I would suggest at this point is Warner Brothers is going to push back Fantastic Beasts 3 by an entire year. I'm calling November 2021, but at the same time, they're going to shoot, I think, the next one, Fantastic Beasts 4, very close afterward. Or maybe 4 and 5 very close afterward, and have them set for a 2021, 2022, 2023 release, but just give us a full couple years before they go into that particular final run. That's kind of Warner Brothers' way with it anyway, right? Waiting the every 2 years is not always going to work out well for them. My theory is that they got spooked by how poorly received Crimes of Grindelwald was in regards to the script, that they probably just want to barrel through these final few movies, work with J.K. Rowling, get the scripts going pretty good, bring in a couple script doctors, and then just bam, 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 nail it out there. That's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to nail it out, and it just seems to make a lot of sense. But anyway, again, my thoughts on this one, kind of all over the place, I fully admit. But the Fantastic Beasts franchise is one that I do enjoy. I do want it to be good, but who knows what they're going to do with it, and it's kind of a mess right now. So anyway, I leave it to you. Your thoughts, write them below.